the current definition, the job description of the ideal service advisor, have you realized that person doesn't exist?
How do you define the ideal service advisor?
They have to be meticulous enough to build estimates and have to be outgoing and a people person. I mean, that's the opposite.
Yeah, it's two different things. I think the outgoing people person is more important than the meticulous, because I can sub meticulous out.
The following program features a bunch of doofuses talking about the automotive aftermarket. The stuff we or our guests may say do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of our peers, our sponsors, or any other associations we may have. There may be some spicy language in this show, so if you get your feelings hurt easily, you should probably just move along. So without further ado, it's time for Confessions of a Shop Owner with your host, Mike Allen.
I grew up in a country where I would have landed in jail if I had said what I wanted to, right? I grew up in East Germany.
So when did you leave East Germany?
91.
So after the wall fell. Wall fell in 87?
And 89.
89, okay.
I was in college and I was part of the political movement helping to get the wall down.
What was that like?
That's a whole podcast by itself.
Okay.
But yeah, it was. So I was in college. I was a PhD student because I wanted to push out the time when I have to go to work every day.
Okay. What were you studying?
There is no equivalent in the US. It's a mix of computer science and technical optics and measurement. So I focused on the ability to measure things in the industry which had to be measured fast but accurately. I'll give you an example. We built a scale which measured coffee beans
as they were poured in.
As they're packaged down to an accuracy where the packager needed to put only 2 more coffee beans in to always pass the test by the customer, because if the customer pulls a sample and it's not meeting the weight printed, the whole delivery goes back, right?
Okay.
So they would put 2 more coffee beans in a. With our scale, they only needed to put 1 more coffee bean in, and that amortized
over millions
the
of
scale
bags.
within 3 months if you had charged $1 million for it.
Wow. And so that type of technology was being produced in East Germany. Okay.
So for some reason, our professor he played both sides brilliantly. So he was allowed to go to West German trade shows, and we would get phone calls the next day. Where can we buy it? And we said, we're just a university in East Germany. We have no production facility. And so that was super fun, right? I mean, the stuff we did. And I had a professor from West Germany. So when you do your PhD, you do your thesis, and then you have to defend your thesis. And it's good for you if you have a diverse group of professors who critique
on
you,
your panel,
right?
Yeah.
And so I had built a software algorithm based on an idea I found in a magazine and asked the author of that article to come. I had no clue he was the most renowned international expert on this. I had no freaking clue. And he came. And he said, what you guys are doing here, how do you do that? We have no clue what you guys are capable of, right?
That's awesome. So what was it like? And in answer to your question, if you've already covered this, no, I didn't listen to Lucas's podcast with you because I don't even listen to my own podcast.
Oh, I see.
The funny thing is, I used to listen to all the podcasts, and then I started a podcast, and then I stopped listening to any of the podcasts, which is I don't know what that says about me or what.
I mean, you're not listening to yourself to fine tune your No.
You'd think that I would be trying to have some iterative improvement, to continue to hone my skills, but no, not yet. So somebody gets mad at me, I might go back and listen to what I said that made them mad, but that's about it. So
and to answer the other portion of the question, right? Politically, another episode, I was sitting with friends of mine, you could almost say, from the same movement.
Look, here's the deal. The automotive repair business is changing fast. New technology, new customer expectations, and new ways to run a shop. Tectonic 2026 is where you'll see what's next. It's a conference built for the whole industry with sessions to guide owners, advisors, and techs with a clear view of the road ahead. It's happening April 9 through 11 in Houston, Texas, 2026. Presented by TechMetric, it welcomes the entire industry. Tap the link in the show notes to register and grab early bird pricing while you still can.
Look, here's the deal. I like to think that I'm pretty good at running an auto repair shop. It's what I've done for 20 plus years, but I'm not good at managing a marketing budget and all the different facets of a truly well-rounded marketing plan. There's mail, there's local advertising, there's website, there's Google AdWords, there's all the different things that go into that, and it's just not what I'm good at. So what I've chosen to do is to buy myself the time to focus on what I am good at while having someone else execute on all of those things at a way higher level than anything I could ever do. That's what turnkey auto marketing does for me. So if you feel like you could use some of that same magic, I'm going to recommend that you go to turnkeyautomarketing.com, get a free consultation, tell them that I sent you, tell them that Confessions of a Shop Owner sent you. You won't be disappointed.
And we had the list of the president of the university and all his underlings and put names next to it who are going to replace them. That was in 89.
Okay. So was everyone in the administration, were they all...
Yeah, they had to be in the Communist Party. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it. And we were lucky to a certain degree because we were such a small university that nobody really cared. And so but on the other hand, there was a professor, as an example, who wrote books about basics of, how computer hardware works. His books were published internationally. After the wall came down, they did a study and found out that our college had the most modern patent library in the whole Germany. And
So, I'm coming from a place of great ignorance about these things, right? But in my mind, before the wall came down, it was like a third world country on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, shortage.
And people lived in fear and corruption and everything. And then now there is corruption to be had over here too, right?
Right.
It's just more subversive. I don't know.
Yes and no. So here's the interesting thing, right? The fact there was a West and an East Germany, for example, allowed 90% of the East Germans to watch West German TV and receive West German radio. There was only close to the Polish border, there was something we called the Valley of the Clueless. And
The folks that didn't have radio wave access. Yeah.
And I don't know whether you heard the town named Dresden. Dresden was bombed.
Dresden, yeah.
Dresden.
Yeah, firebombing.
Was that, and that was the center of the Valley of the Clueless. And the interesting stats were that the people who wanted to leave East Germany and move to West Germany and basically turned in applications were per capita the highest in the Valley of the Clueless.
Wow. So all they had though was the propaganda about what was going on.
So they overcompensated, right?
Okay.
The moment you know how it's really in real life, then you see, it's not all golden what looks like golden, right? And so, but my dad, for example, he visited his, cousin or whatever when the wall was still up, and he came back and was completely bitter and destroyed. He said, but I worked 40 years of my life as well. Right? So he realized firsthand
the difference.
to your point, right? In East Germany, you learn to improvise because there was a shortage of a lot of things. Money was not an issue. The issue was to get it. I drove a Trabant. I don't know whether you ever seen those East German made from. They were only a few pounds heavy because the body was not metal; it was plastic.
Huh.
So you could play a prank on your teacher by two people lift the car and put it on bricks, and when they want to drive home, they go
Wheels just spin. Yeah. Although I am driving around in a Miata a lot now, so I feel like there are plenty of dudes who can pick my car up and move it right now.
Right. So a buddy of mine and we changed the clutch in a parking lot New Year's Eve in college, right? It was so simple. But 24 horsepower, 2-stroke engine. Anyway.
Was the Nepner motorcycle, is that East German or was that Russian?
Which one?
Dnepner. I think it was.
Dnieper is
Dnieper.
That's a river in Russia.
Okay, so it's a the BMW R series motorcycles from the 60s were copied
Right.
by a Russian company, and then so it's a copy of a copy of a copy probably, but it's okay. This is the motorcycle version of the Altel from 1960. No,
I don't know. I'm not so motorcycle savvy.
Well, cool. So Uwe Kleinschmidt, AutoTech IQ,
Thank you.
formerly of East Germany, now of California.
Now of California.
Where are you in California?
Currently in Pasadena.
So, man, I keep getting sucked back into this. How does it feel being in California where there's a large segment of the population that feels like maybe we just need to give communism another chance? We just haven't done it right yet.
So I started writing a Substack channel, if you know Substack,
Yeah.
comparing East Germany with California. I can see the symptoms and I can predict where it's going to land.
Wow.
And the reason why we're still there is my wife's kids.
Hey, shop owners, are you ready to get out of the grind and get back into growth mode? Ignite 2026 is your chance to hit the reset button. 2 days in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, January 30th and 31st. Get out of the cold, into the warm, and learn. Packed with leadership, operations, and marketing workshops and life-changing conversations with other independent shop owners. Go to eliteworldwide.com/ignite and use code CONFESSIONS for $100 off your general admissions ticket. That's eliteworldwide.com/ignite. Code CONFESSIONS for $100 off. Step away from the chaos, invest in yourself, and I'll see you at Ignite.
And so originally we wanted to move to Florida or South Carolina. And
Well, a lot of folks are leaving and going to Idaho and Texas and
Right.
Colorado and
Tennessee.
Yeah. So
But, you know, in East Germany, we had a saying, it cannot be that the last one switches the light off. What that means is, you know, leaving is never a solution. You have to do something about it.
somebody has to fix it. Yeah. Well, we shall see if somebody decides to fix
Yes.
it or not.
See,
So-
I got now the invitation from the government to do the interview to become naturalized.
Nice. How long has that taken you?
Actually, not long. I was super surprised. I wanted to do it for a long time, but Germany has a huge problem with dual citizenship. They put so many hurdles in the way that I thought you have to prove to Germany that you still have ties to them, otherwise they just release you. So if you want to achieve dual citizenship, which was my goal, you had to jump through hoops, and I said, okay, whatever. Don't have the time for this. And last year, the Germans decided, it's not that important, and dropped all requirements. And so I just filed the application and got my interview for Halloween.
So, are you going to go in costume?
Actually, so if you read the requirements, they say if you have been in the US for more than 20 years, you don't need to prove that you can read, write, and speak English. So we were joking, I should just wear a lederhosen,
Just go fully to ocean.
come with a stein, and start talking German and see what happens.
If it weren't such a serious thing that you don't want
Yes.
to fuck up and start over again, that
I
would be
totally
pretty
agree.
epic.
Yeah, my daughter just did it.
So you do the exam, and
It's an interview.
okay. And how long until you get
2 more weeks. If you pass, it's
Okay.
2 more weeks.
All right. Are there basic, like, what types of things do you need to prove? I know that I've been told that people who are taking their naturalization interview, exam, whatever, typically know more about American civics and
Oh, there's
political
no doubt.
history than the average
My
American.
wife read the question. So there's a question catalog, right? And they pick and choose. So you can prepare really well,
Yeah.
I'm told. And she said, I don't know any of this.
Who was the third president of the United States?
For example, yes.
I don't know. Was it Adams?
I don't know.
Jefferson? I don't know.
Yeah, it has to be one of the early ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, but that's, I feel a little safe. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, at least study.
I came to this country and created over 100 jobs. So isn't that worth something?
That's worth something, right? We still got to study, man. I tell my
I know.
15-year-old is due for his driver's exam to get his permit. I'm like, bro, in North Carolina, you have to get an appointment 90 days out, or you have to get in line at 4:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And I said, if I get in line at 4:30 in the morning, or if you wait 90 days and you haven't studied for this test and you fail the written portion of this test, I will maybe just murder you rather than get back in line again. So,
No, in Germany it's much worse. You pay up to 1,500 euros, which is what, $1,700 to get your driver's license. And when you fail, you start completely over and pay again.
well, and you have probably fewer stupid automotive accidents from
Probably, yeah.
poor drivers. You
Yeah,
know?
probably.
And the other end of the spectrum, you know, go to some places in Southeast Asia where it's like free for all, you know,
Right.
absolute madness.
Yeah, but
So-
mobility is a value, and see, completely different topic, but you heard about safety first, right? That kind of rule.
Safety third.
I'm with that, right? So Mike Rowe did in one of his podcasts, he said there's a study about an intersection where they had more accidents after they installed the traffic lights. Why? People feel safe. They don't need to care about it anymore. They just follow the light. Whereas before, everybody paid attention. So I like that everybody paid attention better, I have to say.
Well, the problem is getting everyone to actually pay attention.
That's true.
I know that I am 100% guilty of
Yes.
that, being a distraction while driving.
Yeah, but the deeper problem is you rely on the system, and when stuff doesn't work, you blame the system.
You know, I don't remember who I was talking with. I think it was Jim Kokonis, and Brian Pollock and I were discussing the other day a trend of, there was a term given to it, but a reduction in competency in professional individuals who were relying too much upon AI to do their job for them. And so they were dumbing down, right, their competency. And I know that AI is, it's coming for your job, but I think people who know how to use AI appropriately are coming for your job, and they're going to be able to do the job of two people.
Yes, and yes, if you have a job which is day in, day out, the same mundane, repetitive thing, you should be worried.
Well, like if you're a radiologist, you had a really good career and you had good income, but don't let your kid be a radiologist, right?
Right. No,
and-
but it is really interesting AI. So we use AI heavily. We have several million repair orders and inspections in our database, right? And so when we realized that service advisors spend quite a bit of time on the phone explaining pictures to their customers, we thought that's not a good use of their time, and it's kind of sales pressure, right? you cannot avoid that it's perceived as talking down on me as a customer, right? It's unavoidable. And so we started building a tool which basically interprets the pictures and puts the arrow on it and caption. So when the customer gets the inspection result, they actually get educated. They don't need a third party to explain to them what's on the picture. The AI does that. And it was so amazing to see how to deal with AI. So number one, if you let it flow, you will be super surprised how good it is. Give you an example. It looks at a picture and says, here's an oil leak and there's a loose connector. But the inspection topic was oil leak, so you have to throttle it and say, don't tell us about the loose connector, that's a different inspection topic.
So we have started experimenting with just, we know what we see, take a picture or a video of what we see, and then tell me what you see. And it is pretty accurate on what it's seeing, especially if you give it information about what type of vehicle it is that you're under.
Yes.
And so I can see how that would be a useful and valuable tool. I was in another conversation recently about if you can build a really high-level DVI with really good explainer videos and really good, easy to understand, regular vernacular write-ups. There are some people who believe that you can send that to them and let the customer follow through that process, and it will be as effective as an average service advisor without an average service advisor being there.
The question is whether that's a good goal.
I don't know that average is a good goal, right? But my question is, can you trust the customer to go through that entire process without being led through it?
You measure that. That's easy. Right?
Let's back up.
Yes.
Tell me what AutoTech IQ is and what it does, because we know each other, but not everybody listening does.
So AutoTech IQ, so I sold Auto Vitals, was supposed to retire, but I'm kind of obsessed with what the DVI is capable of, because I think even today we have only scratched the surface, and we'll see whether we can touch on all those things in this podcast. And so the first idea was, we knew that pre-educated customers approve more. It was really simple, right? The more they're educated, the more they approve. That seems counterintuitive, and some service advisors have a lot of pride in explaining what's wrong with the car to the customer, right? Okay. But the numbers are, there's nothing to discuss really, right? So we, for example, measured how long a customer would study the inspection result unattended. And so there were two things. The more you edited the pictures and made them self-explanatory, the longer the research time. And the longer the research time, the higher the approval rate. It was completely clear, right? So I thought, okay, let's build autotechiq.com and put so much education on that website that people who look for a problem solution about their car on Google will find it. And then we will explain how much it's going to cost and how to do it yourself. No, that's not what we're going to do.
I was just going to end the recording right there and just thank you for coming.
No, we are, because most customers they're intimidated by the technical complexity of the car, right? And so if they're completely non-prepared in the discussion with a service advisor, they're timid, right? And they decline because they don't know what it means, or they approve because they're in fear that something is happening. Yeah. Neither one is good, right? Okay. And so we built, 125,000 web pages explaining common causes for a symptom, like a noise, a smell, a warning light, right? And then when they find it, they can read it, and then they answer questions about how do you experience your problem, and then hook them up with shops in their area we have certified, right? And certification means we ask you to fill out a survey about your DVI process. We give you some feedback on 2 low-hanging fruit changes you can make in your business to improve it, and that's it. Product number one.
Okay.
Then we were looking for a software. How can we show shops that you have a good DVI process, right? How do we measure it instead of just talking and teaching and preaching, right? And so we built a tool which measures recommendation rates and decline rates by job. Guess what the highest decline job is in numbers? So how many jobs?
Not percentage, but just either a light bulb or an air filter.
Filter.
Okay. Yeah.
By far,
Yeah.
either one, cabin or engine air filter.
I would believe that completely.
By far. And
Because that's the thing that people think they can do themselves.
I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
I think that's an excuse to just get the conversation somewhere else.
Okay.
You know how you can test it?
Sure. Tell me.
Pick up the phone a week later, call that customer and say, we wanna complete our documentation. Have you replaced the air filter?
And they'll say no.
Nobody will say
Do you
yes.
think that's that they don't think they can do it, or that they just don't think about it and that it's not important to them?
I think
Because we haven't educated them as to why it's important.
the latter is true.
Yeah.
So for example, what we recommend to our customers is buy a bunch of clean filters, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them near the techs who do the inspection, and when they pull out the vehicle filter, hold in the same picture the clean one next to the vehicle filter, and then you know it's dirty.
Yeah.
It's always dirty. There's no discussion about anymore, is it dirty or not,
Yeah.
right? And since most people rarely change their HVAC filter at home, this is the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
So you have to educate in a very short period of time. So
What do you think that amount of available time is for that educational process?
it's two phases.
Okay.
The first one is make sure you give customers time to research the inspection.
Hey, it's me, Mike's kid. Want to tell us your wild shop stories? Or maybe you just think my dad's totally wrong. Call us at 704-CONFESS and leave a message. You can tell us we're awesome, or you can tell us we're idiots. We're cool either way. That's 704-CONFESS. Just don't make it too weird.
Because there's nothing better than educating yourself.
Okay.
Right? I always use this example, and probably everybody has heard it by now. Imagine you go to Amazon, look for a product, find the page. You cannot decipher the picture, and as you stare at the picture, not that it's blurry or anything, you just don't know what it shows. You get a phone call from an Amazon salesperson who is explaining to you what's on the picture and is asking for the buy. You would never use Amazon ever again. Why? The autonomy to make decisions and educating yourself has been violated. Service advisors do that every day. And so my claim is, since everybody has now, in the last 10 years, gotten to a purchasing behavior where the empowerment of educating yourself is available, just pick that up and do the same thing with your inspection result and make your inspection results self-explainable.
Who is your star client, the star user of your technology?
Oh, we have several. So let me just go through to the last product,
Okay.
Tech 8 IQ, if that,
Okay.
because that's basically the culmination of everything we went through. Because we started teaching, based on what I just said, our shops. You have to edit your pictures before you send them to the customer. You have to edit your pictures. Arrows, circles, text on the picture. Why text on the picture and not in the findings? Here's why. Customer gets a text message, taps the link, sees some tiny thumbnails. If you're lucky, they tap on it. What happens next? It takes the full space
Of the screen.
of the screen, and whatever is in the findings is gone,
Yeah.
right? That's why if you want to have a good user experience, the picture itself has to be self-explanatory, right?
So you want like a bright yellow text, or
The arrow needs to be in big enough. So It has to be big enough that the thumbnail is interesting because that's their first experience.
Okay.
Right? And if
they
they
gotta
see
click-
there
they gotta
is
click
text
on
on it, they cannot read it, but there is text on it, and they see the arrow in the right color, they will tap on it. One of our customers called that the cocaine for my customer. He said, I had stubborn customers who really rarely approved what I proposed on the inspection result, and now they approve it. $4,000, $7,000 estimates, right? Okay. At one point, I said to my team, look, I'm a little tired of preaching and teaching this editing. And some of the the DVI softwares out there to this day don't have even the ability to edit it, right? Let's just do it for them. Let's AI do it. And that's how Tech8 IQ was born, where we basically trained the AI with the millions of pictures we had to know what's on the picture and put the arrow exactly at the problem area and put the caption on it, right? So now the users of Tech8 IQ, the tech does still its red, yellow, green, because one of our ground rules is the tech is always right, although we know it's not true, but we don't want to overburden.
Well, the tech still needs to own the inspection.
Actually, the service advisor needs to, in our opinion.
But I think the service advisor needs to own the estimate before they pick up the phone and call.
Yeah, but also the quality of that's the second ground rule. So the tool could, in theory, take the text information, enhance the images, puts the text on it, and then just puts it in Techmetric, for example. We integrate with Techmetric two-way, and then you just hit the send button.
Yeah.
And so we said, no, let's have the service advisor review everything first before they hit the send button. But we have now, when we look at the service advisor activities, a lot of shops scroll through the page super quickly and hit the transfer button to Techmetric or AutoVitals. Yeah. And that shows me they have a high trust in our tool, right? And results, you were what poster child. I give you 3 examples, right? Meineke shop started, they're not famous for sophisticated DVI processes, right? Mm-hmm. Started the tool, $50 increase in a week. ARO. 5 location owner, one of his locations started using it, 350 car count a month, pretty busy shop, 23% increase build hours in the first 10 days.
Did they maintain that increase?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And something else happened for that particular shop. They had already a split between service advisor only responsible for the inspection, production manager responsible for the estimate and dispatching of techs. And before, they would end up at the same time. Editing pictures in the inspection and building the estimate ended about at the same time, so the service advisor could send it. With Tech8 IQ, the service advisor's twiddling thumbs now. He's done way before.
Well, that increases their capacity to say
Talk
yes
to
and have more
customers.
relationships. Yeah.
Which, to me, by the way, not to change topics too much, but if you look at the current definition, the job description of the ideal service advisor, have you realized that person doesn't exist?
Well,
because
how do you define the ideal service advisor?
They have to be meticulous enough to build estimates and have to be outgoing and a people person. I mean, that's the opposite.
Yeah, it's 2 different things. I think the outgoing people person is more important than the meticulous, because I can sub meticulous out. That's what I'm doing.
I know you, but you have to admit that's only possible from a cost structure when you have reached a certain
it adds expense.
volume and revenue to afford the specialization.
For sure. Yeah, just like there are, I hate the term unicorn technicians out there.
Right.
There's some unicorn advisors out there, but on the whole,
Yeah, but it's
a
not
super
scalable.
high-performing sales advisor typically is a train wreck on their paperwork and
Yes.
their documentation and their process following, because they're just out there want to put their arm around you and love on your customers and just build relationships, and then they're like,
That's
I
why
don't need
you
to do
have
that paperwork.
accountants with Excel, and that's why you have salespeople.
Yeah.
And in this industry, you want to combine them into one job.
And the funny thing is, you always hear the salespeople promise everything, and then the implementation team has to pick up the pieces and deal with
Right.
the disaster that sales. And the sales guy's already got his commission, and he's moved on to the next on the next lead. You know,
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what
In
you're
the
talking
software
about.
world, I'm sure you do. They seem to be the worst offenders of that.
But there are ways of managing that. On the one hand, you don't want to stop them. On the other hand, you don't want to get it completely out of hand, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So yeah, that's so the AI is super powerful. We just need to channel it right, and the sky is the limit. But I'm still the fear that we replace people or the AI is I cannot share this.
I think it's gonna replace low performers.
Yes,
and it's gonna make high performers even more effective.
totally agree.
So, and that's okay. There's been technological evolution throughout the history of mankind, and we have more people now and more employment now.
Right.
You know, the steam engine was going to put everybody out of business. It did not do that. We're okay. So I'm not worried about there not being any good jobs to be had. I'm more worried about not getting left behind by the evolution and getting caught out.
Yeah, actually, I see another trend, and that's also a reason why I started AutoTech IQ. I believe, just like I used the Amazon example, we as consumers get more and more and more empowered to make decisions. So, for example, service advisors are being told to tell their customers, I cannot give you an estimate on the phone. I have to see your car first. I don't know how long we're going to be able to do that. I think customers will be so impatient, and the effort and the inconvenience is so high that we have to find different ways to.
Well, that's part of the systems that I'm implementing right now, is trying to get over that hurdle without guessing over the phone.
Yes.
Right. And that's one of the things that some of the best rage bait that I create is talking about the process that we go through for that. And that's, I do not charge for diagnostics. And most,
Oh, interesting.
my two of my managers are here, and one was in Becky Witt's class and one was in Cecil Bullard's class at the same time. So at lunch, I was like, how was class today, guys? It was great, except Becky and Cecil both agree that we are the problem with this industry. But, what we did is, and I've said this many times, but I'll go through the real quick version for you, is when a new customer comes in that doesn't have a relationship with us or calls in, because they call before they show up, and how much is X, or I have this symptom, what do you think that is? Their guard is up. They've just moved to town and they don't know anybody and they don't want to get taken advantage of. Or the guy that they thought they could know, like, and trust, they feel like is taking advantage of them, and so their guard is up. Or the guy that they know can't get them in for 3 weeks.
Right.
And they've got a time-sensitive need, right? So their guard is always up when they call you for the first time. And they've called 3 places and they got bad phone skills and bad etiquette, or hold please, or maybe they got a really good service advisor who said, absolutely, Ms. Jones, we can help you with that. And then I've got ASE certified master technicians who are able to inspect the problem for you, give you a complete written estimate. We always get permission to start off at $196 for all testing and inspections. Any simple fixes I'll include for you in there. But anything above and beyond that, I'm going to stop and talk to you first. I never spend your money without your permission, right? Well, that's pretty good. It's $200 though, just to look at it.
Right.
They don't know, right? It's just, so what we're doing is the same thing that AutoZone does for free, right? And so what I did was in 2023, we did just over $200,000 of diagnostic labor, and we had about 12,500 total billable hours in the year. Divided those numbers together, it came out to $15, $16, $17, something like that. I raised my labor rate by $19. and then I still pay my technician for their
Right.
time
You
to
should.
do the diagnostic. And now when Miss Jones calls, and I say, absolutely, Miss Jones, we can help you with that. Anytime you're experiencing a problem like that, it's important to have a master technician inspect that issue for you. I'm going to give you a complete written estimate at absolutely no charge. Is right now a good time to bring it in? And I don't have to fight for that $200 and
Right.
tell them. Now, someone like Lucas is going to tell you that I'm just rolling the price in and screwing everybody pays for the.
Right.
I think he told me that it was communist or socialist. Everybody pays for your diag, even if you don't pay for your diag. But we're getting way less pushback, and car count is up, and that works. But maybe that's a temporary Band-Aid for what you're talking about, because the impatience level is going to get so high, and there's going to be someone who's going to give them what they want. And if there's someone who gives them what they want with the right level of accuracy and the right level of disclaimer for situational variance, then they might start getting a bigger and bigger piece of the pie eventually. So you have to be able to evolve to maintain relevancy. So do you think that real-time accurate estimates over the phone with caveats or education about variance
Is better.
is the direction?
Yes.
Okay.
You can always put the disclaimer in,
Yeah.
and don't make it fine print, make it clear.
Yeah.
But it shows that you care, and not put a hurdle up. And
Do you have anybody who's practicing that yet to success? No. Okay. I can see how that would be on the horizon. I don't want to be first. My
No,
dad used
I
to
know.
say that it's exciting to be a pioneer, but pioneers also ended up face down in the prairie with a bunch of arrows in their back.
true.
So
true.
let me be like,
So here is my prediction. It will start with your web presence, or whatever way they found you. So, for example, imagine your website or autotechiq.com says, so what vehicle do you drive? What's the vehicle type?
so 2019 Silverado.
And then we tell the customer, so we say that today already in autotechiq.com, if somebody says, I drive a BMW and I live in wherever, we show how many BMWs the shops have worked on, and the one with the highest and the certified shop is at the top, right? They have the highest experience. Done, right? From a customer's
Of the ones
perspective.
that you have their data.
Of the ones we have the data.
Okay.
And the next step is, dear user of my website, there were 50 people driving the same car as you in the same mileage range. Their reviews were this, and they had the following work done on their car. Do you want the same work done?
So do your users have to give you permission to publish that information?
Yes.
Okay. Because I would think that there are going to be some people who are hesitant to give up that
That's
information.
fine.
Yeah.
So currently, we are not even tapping into customer information because we are not a CRM system yet, which is another topic I would love to talk about. But I see that in the future, and the pattern is motorists like me are the next best reference I can get. And if it's not just a customer, but a customer who drives the same car in the same mileage range as me, it's pretty close.
Yeah. And this shop has seen one customer with that car, and this shop has seen
Yes.
40 customers with that car, and they got 5-star reviews. Then okay, yeah. So
Right.
makes sense.
So the more you can empower, it's again empowering the motorist, and because we just know with numbers that the more you empower your customers, the higher the approval rate. There is, I debate anybody who tells me the opposite any day, and that's a new finding in a lot of belief systems shops have, right? And just like the DVI.
So is there a place for in this dystopian future that you draw, is there a place for a selling service advisor on the phone, or is it all going to be done
always.
digitally?
There's always a human involved. I don't. I mean, yes, I love technology, but if you make a purchase of a certain amount, you want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily the expert behind the counter who offers that service. Right? The worst example for me is a dealership. Right? When I want to buy a car, I know more about the car I want to buy than the salesman who wants to sell it.
You've been researching it for 2 months. Yeah.
And I talk to people who drive the same car.
You know all the submodels and the features. Yeah.
And I talk to people who drive the same car. So there's talking, right? And what was your... And sometimes that might not be face-to-face. That might be in a Facebook group or whatever, right? So the medium in which the service advisor is talking to the customer might not be always the phone. We have a customer who doesn't talk to... So a shop who doesn't talk to their customers on the phone. Pure text. And so he uses our JobView IQ product where I say, Scott, your recommendation rate is awesome, but your decline rate could be lower, right? Let's target 40%. He said, can I have some phone recordings from you? He said, no, we don't call customers. I said, what do? We send text messages. Okay, then send me the text messages over. And we started fine-tuning the text messages together so they become shorter and more impactful, and the decline rate followed. It doesn't mean it's a stellar decline rate, because there are other shops who have way better decline rates for the same job. But
does he even have service advisors then?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's an easy service advisor job. If you've got all the tools that you're talking about functioning, and they don't have to call people, all they got to do is take keys and check people out. I don't know.
The service advisor came from they have two service advisors that came from for tire specialized.
Okay.
So high car count. So they were looking for ways of keeping the car count and lowering the effort. I think that's where that came from.
Awesome.
But look, nowadays you should try everything, and since we can measure everything, just measure and decide what works, right? So I have no...
Like a mad scientist in a lab, just posit a theory and divine your test and try it out. And
if it doesn't work, try something else.
Yeah.
But fail fast, as they say, right? Don't make it a big story. Just A/B/C testing, see what works, and do more of it. And anyway, CRM I want to talk about, if that's okay.
Okay.
My claim is that customers who make an appointment through the service reminder only do that because they trust you. They don't even read the service reminder.
They don't even read the service what?
Reminder.
Okay, yeah.
Why? 80% of those jobs they don't understand. And you could have sent an invite to breakfast email, they would have made that appointment. But here's the thing. Back in Auto Vitals, I calculated a special retention rate, which was not the usual retention rate, which is, most people say, does the customer come back in the next 2 years, right? I calculated, does the customer come back at the proposed time window? And thus approves the majority of the recommended work. Okay. Guess what the best retention rate was of the top best shops in the nation?
40%?
34.
Yeah.
And that tells me the CRM system needs to be disrupted. It's okay, but there are better ways of doing it. And so my idea is basically, so what happens when you get a service reminder? Yes, you trust them, but you know you will pay money. You just don't know what for exactly and what it does. Because the service reminder doesn't explain the why. It just lists the jobs, right? Normally. The DVI is completely different. The DVI does exactly the opposite. It spends a lot of time on documenting the conditions. And then the good DVIs say why you should approve it. So we, for example, in Facade IQ offer 3 word snippets. Why now? What's the safety impact if you don't do it? And what are the cost savings not delaying the approval?
Yeah.
Right?
How much more will it cost if
How
you
much
do
more?
delay it?
And it's less that we use numbers. We just say, if you delay it, here's the next part which is going to be impacted. And in a previous version, we even gave the worst case scenario, but Chop said that's too
pushy.
fear mongering, and so we took that out. So the why is so important, right? And so in my opinion, a much better CRM system is, and you can try it today, have your service advisors, after the work is approved, turn all the red or yellow items which got approved into green. And at pickup, present the inspection again and say, this is what you came in for. This is what we have done. Congratulations. Here's
It's
the
all green
number.
now. Yeah.
Not all is green because they have declined.
Well, the
jobs.
things they did are green now, and here are the things that are still red.
And that's the last thing you say. See the yellow stuff up here? So in our definition of red, yellow, green, red is today, yellow is in the future, green is good, right? Simple. And you just point out, see the yellow, green up here, the yellow stuff up here? We would like to make the next appointment to re-inspect your vehicle. Commitment to pay? 0.
Yeah.
And they just had that great experience where they got an inspection result and they could decide what to approve and what not. That empowers them completely. Do it again. Right? So instead of having a service interval driven reminder, have an inspection interval driven reminder. Just offer to re-inspect the vehicle. You will see that goes up in the retention rate.
Well, I'm interested to have my team come to your booth tomorrow. They won't be out here tonight.
Please.
To learn about the TechView IQ, and I want to learn about your estimate building software also. So pretty cool, man.
We can do that.
Uwe, thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
We just went through an hour. Can you believe that?
Yes.
It went quick. It didn't feel like an hour.
But, I love to talk about this. I mean,
I can tell you're passionate about it.
Man, there's so much to do, and I love this industry and the people.
Well, time to get out to the booth. All the owners are about to come down. Owners only tonight. We'll have dinner down on the showroom floor. You're going to be slinging your software everywhere, handing out beers. So,
cool. Thank you,
there.
Mike.
Thanks,
See you
dude.
there.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our video today. If you enjoyed this content and you'd like to see some more, you can click right here. And it would be really helpful for me if you thought that this level of mediocrity is something that could help your other friends that were shop owners or in the industry. You can click right here and subscribe. You can even set up notifications if you want. I'd love to have you on the channel.